These guys are trying to scam my boy on his property. Look, it's the second time he came around talking about he trying to get him. Trying to scam. Inspection of the house. Ain't no inspection. You don't own the house. Get out of here. You don't own nothing. This is a court order. Like, get court order. No, get out of here. Fake ass court order. Look at this nigga trying to scam. This guy been here for years. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. He's born here. Get out of here. When they called the cops, you came, the cops came, they did nothing. Get out of here. Yo, oh yeah. I don't know if you know this guy trying to scam. We're not playing over here. We're not playing. We don't give a fuck about that little fake ass hat. We knock his fucking hat off. We're not playing. You hear me? We're not playing. I'm trying to play. I'm trying to get him the fuck out of here before he gets himself hurt out of here. You heard? We don't give a fuck about that hat. You heard? We don't give a fuck about that hat. We'll knock his fucking head off.
What's up out there, YouTube? It's James coming back at you with another informative video. I hope all is well with you guys on this beautiful Monday. All's pretty good over here, and I hope you had a very nice, relaxing weekend. Over the weekend, I come across this particular situation taking place predominantly in Brooklyn, in New York, the Bronx, and all those places right there. The video that we just watched entailed with this guy right here trying to steal somebody's deed, somebody's property, okay? And as you can see, he is what you call, he's wearing the fez and supposed to be a Jew or what have you. Boy, I tell you about those people. Well, what can you say? You know what I'm saying? I mean, for people that is alleged to have stolen an entire heritage from a people, what do you expect? Okay? But the thing is this, and this is not to generalize all Jews, but if the shoe fits, wear it. A lot of thievery going on, you know what I mean, and transferring of titles, fake paperwork, and all of that kind of stuff to take what somebody got. And in this case, it's predominantly happening in New York, okay, where you have a lot of black residents there that are victimized by deed thieves, okay? Deed thieves. Now, what I want us to do is watch a couple of news clips, entailing more about this particular situation. Then we're going to go over the meaning of deed theft and some protection strategies, to stop this kind of thing from happening to you. So without further ado, let's check this out.
Homeowners in Brooklyn are fighting what they call ongoing deed theft. They say residents are losing their homes and they're not getting justice. Anna Klieger breaks down their message and how city and state prosecutors are responding.
Activists gathered outside the Brooklyn District Attorney's office this afternoon.
People are left homeless, hopeless, and victimized.
Their frustration echoed in their voices as this lawyer says he's had dozens of alleged victims coming to him for help.
You come to the DA's office because you believe it's a crime. And what the DA's office tells you is go to the Supreme Court and file a civil action.
Part of their message is a cycle of what they call selective prosecution. Certain cases and serial scammers get a lot of attention, but other cases don't even make it into the courtroom.
They are first victimized by cunning crooks, and then victimized again by the legal and court system that is supposed to, at the very least, listen to their cries for help.
DA Eric Gonzalez's office issued a statement that reads they have a robust and active deed fraud unit that secured 31 indictments since 2017, all leading to convictions. Among those, the recent conviction of a man named Sanford Solney, who the courts determined stole the deeds to 11 residential properties. The homes were all returned to their owners.
But activists point to cases like these to express their dissatisfaction, saying Mr. Solney had many more victims and there are many more people engaging in this kind of illegal behavior.
They cannot do anything because of statute of limitations.
The Office of New York Attorney General Letitia James says she has led an effort to pass stronger anti-deed theft laws that give prosecutors more power to protect victims by establishing deed theft as a crime and amending the statute of limitations for these cases.
Hannah, please explain why these cases are so hard to bring to court.
Among many things, activists say the burden of proof is high, and sometimes the paperwork can technically be in order, even if it was signed under manipulative or coercive circumstances. So the intent of fraud can be difficult to prove. And the other argument is there are questions about whether these cases should be tried in criminal or civil court, which, as we know, can get very expensive for homeowners facing financial challenges.
Anna Klieger, thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Deed theft, where homeowners are essentially tricked out of their properties, has been a pervasive problem for a few years now. And now this group is rallying outside the governor's office, demanding that she do something about it.
My father and I worked really hard. We scraped and we saved and we purchased our home legally and legitimately.
Rachel Cyprian was shaking mad as she spoke with us outside the governor's office about the devastating impact of her 15-year fight to reclaim ownership of her Brooklyn home following deed theft.
It leads to homelessness. It leads to depression. It leads to all sorts of failures. Here we are, Black people, in this country now for over 400 years, and we're constantly starting from square one.
Deed theft is when a property's title is transferred away from the rightful owner, generally due to deceptive or predatory tactics. Frequently, the targets are seniors and communities of color.
What do we want? And when do we want it?
Now, Brooklyn City Councilman Chio Say is pressing the governor to put a moratorium on evictions where there's a deed theft case pending or being investigated.
We are pleading to the governor, to the head of the state, to do right by all of us, to do right by Black New Yorkers, and to do your job.
During the moratorium, Chio Say and other elected leaders are demanding legislative fixes, like more support for homeowners in eviction court, special investigative units inside district attorneys' offices, a public database of shell companies associated with deed theft, and more. In response, a spokeswoman for the governor's office did not mention an immediate moratorium, but said the governor has taken a number of steps to push back against deed theft. Quote, "No New Yorker should be cheated out of the opportunity to keep their home," which is why Governor Hochul has proposed $40 million in her state budget for the Homeowner Protection Program, and why she has led the way in enacting strong protections to empower homeowners and crack down on illegal deed theft. But advocates say they will press on for more reform and that immediate moratorium.
Moratorium now! Moratorium now!
Governor Hochul, it is now at your door. What are you going to do to keep Black families in their home? That's it. That's all I want to hear about.
Between 2014 and 2023, there have been roughly 3,500 complaints of deed theft in New York City alone. So we will continue following these proposals and continue to follow up with the governor's office and councilman's office as this moves forward. In Midtown, Henry Rossoff, Pix 11 News.
Now, you know, what I don't like about the judicial system is where there's a clear and present crime taking place, such as things like this. They like to drag their feet about getting the remedy, you know what I'm saying, getting it taken care of, prosecuting these thieving lowlifes, you know what I'm saying, who hide behind, whatever, and come up with these fake documents to steal what somebody got, and which is their homes. Now, last year, things were overran by squatters. They came up with laws to make sure, they fight, squatters, which was common sense. Somebody you catch in your house sitting up on their ass acting like it's theirs, and you catch them there, you have every right to kick that person in their ass and send them on their miserable way. But what the law was doing in some places, talking about you got to give them 30 days for what? They ain't on no documentation saying that they have the right here and that they pay me for rent or nothing like that. Talking about you just can't evict them. Now they done got up there with this deed theft mess, which is basically coming out of these offices and stuff like that. It's just like identity theft. A person that may have worked in the place, collected all your information you may gave them over the years for whatever reason. You may call someplace and whatever. And they got all your information. And then once they fired, from this place, or, just happened to quit, they turn around and steal your identity. Go and, rob your bank account or whatever. I'm just saying. But now here we go with the deed theft mess. You know what I mean? Nah. See, I fought the law. I fought the judicial system. Because when they don't fight when they don't when they don't get up on these people, when they catch them and lower the hammer on their ass, you know what I mean, and prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law and give them years upon top of years for doing this, what they're doing is actually encouraging these thieves to do things like this. That's basically what it all boils down to. You see what I'm saying? And in that case, the judicial system is actually complacent. They're complacent at this point, you know. But let's go over some of the stuff here to recognize if you know, deed theft and, you know, the meaning of it. Now it says here, deed theft or home title theft occurs when criminals forge documents or use fraud to transfer a property's deed into their name without the owner's knowledge, often targeting seniors or vacant mortgage-free homes. Victims may face eviction, loss of home equity, and costly legal battles to regain ownership, requiring immediate police, legal, and credit agency intervention. But if you got all of the present documentation that show that you own this home, why you got to be drugged through the judicial system like you the criminal and you fighting for what belongs to you, and you got this lowlife that came up with some fake paperwork, you see what I'm saying? Well, saying it's theirs. You see? This is what I say about the system, man. It's broken and it don't work, okay? Now it says here, signs of deed theft: unexplained mail, receiving tax or utility bills for a property you don't own, or for services you didn't request. Missing mail, unexpectedly stopping receipts or property tax bills or mortgage statements. Unauthorized activity, unrecognized changes in credit reports, such as new unfamiliar loans. Record alerts, notifications from the county's recorder's office regarding unexpected recorded documents, right? These are all the signs of deed theft. So you gotta watch out for this stuff right here. And then see, that way, if you see the signs, you can nip it in the bud before it really gets out of hand. Now it says here how deed theft happens. Forgery. Criminals sign the owner's name on a fraudulent deed or document and file it with the county recorder, often using fake notary stamps. All right. Fraudulent transfers. Scammers trick homeowners into signing documents, often promising to help refinance a mortgage or pay overdue taxes, while actually transferring ownership. Okay, so you gotta watch these low life slicksters, because they just out there to steal and take what you got. Okay, and they know the law. They don't think for 1 minute they have not researched how the law does things, because if they didn't do that, they wouldn't know the loopholes to get around the law. You see what I'm saying? They know there's no real big penalties, you know, where they're gonna do some real time and pay out a lot of money if they get caught. Okay. Now, target vulnerabilities. Go over, says criminals specifically target elderly residents, vacant properties, or homes with no mortgage, liens free. Okay. Legal consequences for thieves. Deed theft is a serious felony involving forgery, identity theft, and fraudulent public records. Perpetrators can face significant prison sentences, such as multi-year sentences, and must pay restitution for the stolen equity. If that was so, why does deed theft continue to grow then? If this is what it all boils down to, y'all really need to exercise what you got written here. Throw the book at them like you would do anything else. Pretend like they tried to rip off a government, institution of some sort. Okay, pretend like they were actually caught selling drugs. You see what I'm saying? Treat them just like how you would treat people that would do that. Then they would get some serious time. Okay. Now this goes over some protection strategies right here. It says here, register for alerts. Many county offices offer free property fraud alert systems. Review titles periodically. Check your property records with your local county recorder's office. Do not abandon property. Check regularly on vacant homes or properties held in estates. Okay. Title insurance here ensures you have adequate owner's titles insurance. Right. Now, difference of terms of deed thefts right here. The specific act of fraudulently changing the owner on the recorded deed. Title theft, however, goes over home title theft. A broader term often used that is, for the same crime where the title, the legal right to ownership, is stolen, allowing the thief to sell, rent, or take out equity loans on the home. And then see, when they do that, I guarantee you, they coming when they come to collect for those loans. Guess who they calling? They calling the real owner. They are calling the real owner. See, these are things you got to watch out for. So yeah, be on the lookout for this kind of stuff right here, because I'm telling you, these low life thieves. There's the ones that like to hide behind paperwork or whatever else they choose to hide behind, and they can't, be found. And I'm gonna tell you another thing I hate. When they catch these people right here, they always want to conceal their identities. For what? They're criminals, just like any other criminal. Put his or her ass out there so the world can see him for what they did. They hate that kind of exposure. You see what I mean? And this is how you will fight deed theft. You see what I'm saying? When you start shining lights on roaches that will flee when lights come on. You see what I'm saying? This is how they did. That's what they would do. Because they don't want to be seen. But you show them to be a public nuisance and a thief. You see what I'm saying? And deal with a thief accordingly. Give them some time. So there we have it, people. I want you guys to tell me what you think about this particular situation right here. This topic about the deed theft. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on it in the comment section. That's if you can comment. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. That's if you can even like, because they're not letting you like videos either these days on YouTube. There's a reason for that, y'all. I plan on making a video somewhere down the line telling you guys what's going on with YouTube. All right. But, yeah, be that as is. Yeah, try anyway. But make sure you guys remember to live your life as though we're being watched, simply because we are. This is James, and I'm out.